as we know, not as large as he once was, but he's in great condition. He can go the distance. He has great cardiovascular conditioning, much like Nature Boy Ric Flair. He can go all night long if that's what it takes to rack up a victory. And it may be what it takes here against the World Tag Team Champions. They have dominated the tag team scene basically since October of '87, when they first won the belts, and of course, winning them again in Jacksonville from Barry Windham and Lex Luger. We all know that story. Paul Nelson and Anderson tried his best to get out of it. Anderson kicking in Nikita Koloff, very unique way to exit out to for the time of the night, and now they're working on that right knee of Nikita Koloff.
Welcome back to Chaos Corner, here on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel, for another episodic YouTube adventure on the series Flashback. Coming to you live to tape 25 feet below the surface of the earth. I'll say that to say this, because I tell it like it is. One man, unique, unedited, unscripted, raw dog for you, the fans. Sit back and relax, drop an elbow on that like button, and let's enjoy some Flashback. I believe we are in the year circa 1987, 1988, as we start out in the NWA, Jim Crockett Promotions, WCW, whatever the fuck it is that you want to call it. Thanks for being here. Much love and respect as we move and roll on through Flashback. Thank you to my moderators, the OTS Tribal Queen, and my brother, Austin Nance, for holding it down there in the Premier Live chat. Stay mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually fit as we watch Nikita Koloff and the Stinger go for the World Tag Team Championships against Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard with J.J. Dillon. And Nikita right now has J.J. Dillon by the cuffs. He has him by the collar, by the neck, goes for the clothesline, misses it into the steel ring post. Holy but Jesus! Shout out to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because if he's for us, no one else can be against us. Nikita Koloff in the man camp, a true man of Christianity in today's day and age. Sit back and relax, grab a beverage, I'm full of piss and vinegar, and I can't appreciate you guys enough. Let's listen in here on Chaos Corner. Flashback, if you will. Good old JR, and I believe Tony Schiavone on the call. Listen to the crowd, jam to the rafters, jam to capacity. You know what we do here on Flashback. We open up the vault of Chaos Chronicles with the hundreds and hundreds of VHS tapes that I have here, and we watch it together for history. We're back in the late 1980s when the business was certainly on fire. En fuego, if you will. Listen to the crowd. Arn Anderson has Nikita Koloff tied up on the canvas. A beautiful reverse hammerlock by Anderson on Koloff, who's face first into the canvas right now. Stinger with the white and black face paint, the blonde hair, the yellow trunks. We put out 2 or 3 episodes yesterday of Flashback. Go back and check out the over 3,000 videos, coming up on almost 3,500 videos here on the channel. Check out the playlists. Well over 400 episodes of Chaos Corner, because it's not a podcast. This is a show. Listen to the crowd. Wow. Amped up here today. Amped up. Trying the arm wringer, Arn Anderson, to no effect on the big Russian. Rights to the left, to the jib, forearm shiver. Oh, out of nowhere, Arn Anderson with the DDT on Nikita. This could be it. This could be over. This could be it for the Four Horsemen. Here's the cover. Rolls him over. Dick Worley only with a 2.5 count. That's right, the late, great Dick Worley. What a referee, a true legend. I'm not going to try to do too much of the voiceover and color commentary work. I want you guys to soak in the atmosphere. Blanchard is in. Beautiful tag. Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard. One of the best tag teams ever. Stay with me, fans. As you know, we go through 35 minutes, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, a little over an hour. We never know what's going to happen here on Chaos Corner on Flashback or any of the series that I produce here for Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel. Whether it's Dinner for Two, whether it's Flashback, whether it's Story Time, whether it's This Date in Pro Wrestling History, book reviews, live pay-per-view coverage, whatever it is that I do here, it's all over the network. Navigate the channel. And of course, I report live Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays for Dynamite, Raw, SmackDown on the community page, and of course on all my social media platforms as I scream and yell over the crowd. It's crazy, it's pandemonium, it's chaos! And there it is, the hot tag. Nikita tags the Stinger. Here comes the Stinger, firing up like no baby face could in that day and age. Big back body drop on Tully Blanchard. Nice drop kick by the Stinger. Boot to the midsection on Arn Anderson. Another one to the LeBons on Tully Blanchard. Far side. Beautiful gorilla press. And down goes Blanchard. Ah, the Stinger. Beautiful stunner. Or was that a bulldog? Woo! We're on fire to open up things here on Flashback. No opening monologue, nothing. We went right into the match. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Clash of the Champions. Beautiful drop kick by the Stinger on Tully Blanchard. This is Clash of the Champions that we've come in on. The Great American Bash Clash of the Champions. This has to be circa 1987, 1988, if I'm not mistaken. I have hundreds of videos over here. What do you want me to tell you, man? Lighten up, kayfabe.
Tully reaches up to make the tag, and Anderson is going to try to thwart this rally right now.
Reversal by the Stinger. Into the sleeper. Stinger has the sleeper on Arn Anderson. And again, the volume goes up, it goes down, the color goes in and out. This is a VHS, a DVD player with the old op boards all rolled into one here. No editing, no green screen, no Patreon, no paywalls. What you see is what you get, raw dog, as I always say. I bring you into my home and give you the bare bones minimum out of motivation, passion, love for this business and this industry that I was in for well over 30 years and my 40-year journey to this day in 2024. Stinger splash in the corner. Down goes Blanchard. This could be it. The crowd is in a frenzy. He's putting him in his Stinger, the sharpshooter, whatever you want to call it. J.J. Dillon's trying to get involved. Nikita fighting them both off. He's got the sharpshooter. Is Tully going to give up? Nikita taking out J.J. and Anderson, keeping him at bay, and that's it. Blanchard has given up. Stinger and Nikita Koloff. What a match. Apparently your new World Tag Team Champions. Let's listen in. And there's Gary Michael Capetta. Nikita and Sting with the NWA World Tag Team titles. J.J. Dillon pleading his case to Dick Worley. Tully has tapped. J.J. Dillon is conferring with Capetta and Worley for some reason. Here we go. A draw? It went to time limit? What kind of horse shit is that? While the Stinger was applying the Stinger deathlock, the Stinger grip, whatever you want to call it, the sharpshooter, they went to a time limit draw. The Worley hit the bell and they thought it was a submission. It was a time limit draw. And the champions remained Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. A bunch of horse shit. I don't know. I think J.J. Dillon threw a few greenbacks to Dick Worley. I mean, I trust Gary Michael Capetta, one of the best ring announcers ever, one of the most underrated ever. I'll say that to say this. And right now, Jim Cornette, Sweet Stan Lane, beautiful Bobby Eaton, the Midnight Express. And I happen to be wearing a throwback for the Midnight Express. How does that happen? Well, what am I, a mind reader? I have amnesia and deja vu at the same time. I think I've forgotten this before. Here's Cornette with the red jacket, the white puffy shirt, so to speak, and the red tennis racket with the fuzzy furls. Let's listen to Jim Cornette and see what he has to say, you crazy coot. Cornette with his introduction of the Midnight Express. Beautiful Bobby and Sweet Stan. Right, and here they come. Tommy Rogers, Bobby Fulton, Robert Fulton and Tommy Rogers. Oh, hold on. It's the Fantastics. Dressed in the blue with the nice bow ties, the blue sequins, the blue shorts, the blue knee pads. A legendary feud, whether it was in World Class, the NWA, Mid-South, all over the country, all over the territories, and the place is jammed. It's the Fantastics against the Midnight Express here on Flashback on Chaos Corner with your old buddy, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy. It's me, man. It's the GOC. Boy, the women did love the Fantastics. Tommy Rogers, Bobby Fulton, Robert Fulton, whatever it is. Bobby Fulton. And it looks like they could be the United States Tag Team Champions right here, defending the tag team belts. Let's listen in. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. It goes up, it goes down. We don't know. Let's go back to Gary Michael Capetta. One fall, 30-minute time limit event. And I don't know what happened here on the VHS tape. We just cut it to some sort of, what is this, Magnum PI or something? What the heck is this? Stand by, fans. Follow me on all social media platforms. You know what they are. Here on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel. Obviously on Twitter, a.k.a. X, which is at Big Daddy GOC. And the GOC stands for the Guardian of Chaos. On Instagram, it's the Guardian of Chaos. On Facebook, there's 2 accounts. That's right, there's 2. J Brony, just like it sounds for you jabronis, neckbeards, geeks, goons, virgins, dweebs. No offense, man. Lighten up, kayfabe. J Brony. And then Prodigio Fidelis El Guardian, in honor of my heritage. Prodigio Fidelis El Guardian. Email me, inbox me, it doesn't matter. Follow me on Gitter, Gab, Truth Social, Rumble. I cover it all in the IWC. But we were interrupted here, and this is what happens on these old VHS tapes. Bear with me here with the technical problems. This is part of the program. Let me see what I could do here. Let me see if I could find some semblance of order. You're going to have to look at my dome piece occasionally because we have some sort of technical difficulties here on Chaos Corner. I don't know what happened to the matches. Just bear with me. Stay with me. How's everybody doing today heading into the weekend? Is everybody okay? Family's okay? Head on a swivel? Paying attention to what's going on in this world? Staying with like-minded people? Getting rid of the negativity and the bullshit and garbage that's in your life and the people that bring in those negative vibes. All right, here we go. We're back. I believe we're back. I think we're back. I'm telling you, I think we're back. And we are. We're back. Beautiful Bobby Eaton, Sweet Stan Lane against the Fantastics, Tommy Rogers, Bobby Fulton. For the United States Tag Team titles, I believe this is our Clash of the Champions, the Great American Bash. Let's adjust the volume here. No, not volume. Volume. What am I saying? I'm as confused as a baby at Hooters, but I'm certainly busier than a blow-up doll at a frat party on this channel, putting out hundreds of videos a month. That's right. 30, 40, 50 a week. 100, 150 a month. The hardest working man in this industry. Not any better, just different. Nobody works harder at pushing out the content for my fans than I do. And that's just a fact. And Jim Cornette's above the ring. He's in a straitjacket. He's in a steel cage, a Shark Tank steel cage, in a straitjacket. That crazy son of a bitch. See, Cornette, it came back to bite you. You may have the #1 podcast on in the IWC right now, but you were a lunatic back then. You were a nut job. Let's face it. And that's what Mama Cornette said too. Mama said there'd be days like this, there'd be days like this. My mama said, mama said, mama said, mama said there'd be days like this, there'd be days like this. My mama said. Too much? Too early? Too soon? Let's get back to the action. Two of the best tag teams for the day. In the Midnight Express, perhaps one of the best ever. Whether it was Condrey and Eaton, Lane and Eaton, or even Condrey and Randy Rose. I gotta do my yoga pose. Stay there, let me stretch. Mufasa, Mufasa, Mufasa.
So much is said and written about Cornette and all the shit that he blows in the air. But there is no doubt that we are seeing one great tag team. Makes the tag, and now beautiful every sweet fans sense that right now Tommy Rogers in the world of trouble. To the other side, firmly on the jaw.
Bobby Eaton, Tommy Rogers in the ring at this time. It doesn't get much better than this. I don't even know where the heck I was before we got interrupted by a clip of Magnum P.I., I think. Wiki wiki. Aloha, haole, hawahini. Mahalo. Ma, what'd I say, man? My friend's over there on the back rim. Beautiful swinging neck breaker by Bobby Eaton. Rogers is in big trouble. Here's the cover. Hooks the leg. Technically sound. Foot's on the rope. What great ring awareness by Tommy Rogers. Very important. And they show Cornette in that straitjacket, locked 15, 20 feet above the ring in that steel cage like a Shark Tank cage. Oh, the educated feet of Sweet Stan Lane into the beautiful backbreaker by Bobby Eaton. Look at the crowd. There's got to be 20,000. I don't know where they are. Let me know if the volume's too low, too high. You guys can email me. I've been throwing out the email. We got a Fan Mail Friday coming up. So if you don't inbox me over on X, a.k.a. Twitter, at Big Daddy GOC, you can email me. I have 2 email accounts and I get back to everybody. Fan Mail Friday is going to be a lot of fun. Chaos Big Daddy, the number 2 at yahoo.com. That's right. Chaos Big Daddy, the number 2 at yahoo.com. And then, of course, Chaos Big Daddy, the number 11 at gmail.com. I'll say it again. Chaos Big Daddy, the number 11 at gmail.com. Those are all one word, lower caps. Chaos is spelled CHAOS. For all of you with the brain of a dehydrated BB out there. Fan Mail Friday. Anything you want to say, email me. I've already gotten like 50 emails this week alone. I will sort through them and pick out the best ones, and we'll have a lot of fun. Right, wrong, or indifferent, whether you insult me or not, it's okay, man. I can take it. Bobby Eaton tying up Tommy Rogers on the mat. As you just might have heard JR just said, over 11 minutes into this matchup for the U.S. Tag Team titles. Again, I'm not sure what building they're in down south. I'm pretty sure it's down south. But it is jammed. Maybe if I zip it, clip it, and throw it in the basket, a little statazita, I can find out where they are. Noggin knocker, both men down. Tommy Young's your referee. Who's going to make the tag first? Is Eaton going to tag Lane? And there it is. Here comes Sweet Stan. And no, he is not the baby's daddy. If you know, you know. Educated feet left to the LeBons on Bobby Fulton. Now here's the double team. Eaton with a big right to the jib of Tommy Rogers. Here's the roll-up by Sweet Stan Lane. Lane was an incredible athlete, very underrated. As were the Midnight Express, in my opinion. These are for the U.S. Tag Team straps. JR has confirmed it with the GOC. Speaking of JR, if you watch the Dynamite, JR was on there interviewing Swerve Strickland. A lot of people gave JR a lot of flack because he's much older now, in his 70s, and some health issues, and saying he's lost a little bit on his fastball. Maybe he should step down or retire. How about let JR fucking decide that instead of you goons? How about that? And the volume goes in and out here on Chaos Corner. Again, we're on VHS. We're in the vault of Chaos Chronicles. A headbutt on Tommy Rogers. Didn't see that coming from Stan Lane. Roundhouse kicks is what I usually see from Stan Lane. Drop kicks. Rogers in great shape. Fantastic's an underrated tag team for the day as well. That just goes to show you the amount of tag teams and how important tag team wrestling was back in the 80s into the early 90s. Multiple tag teams that have been together in multiple territories and promotions and companies that have tag team with each other for years. Tag team wrestling at its finest. Bobby Eaton, High Rent District, going for the Alabama Slam. The Alabama Jam, and he hits it. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Now you know that's true. And why didn't he cover him, Ian? Why didn't you cover him right there after your finisher? You tagged Sweet Stan Lane to come in and get the pin? Cornette, you fucked up on that one, because if I was out there, and you know we've conferred before, we have a history, we have a past, we've been on a lot of the same events in the late 90s. Remember that, Cornette? Why didn't you have your guy, Bobby Eaton, pin him, hook the leg, and get the win and the titles and get the fuck out of there? Very surprised, Cornette, for as smart as you sound on 2024 on your podcast and breaking down the current product. I'll give you credit. Politically, you got your head up your ass, but that's another story for another time. That's well known that you could be a libtard, but I don't hold that against you. I still listen to you loyally, but you messed up on that one. Here's the rocket launcher. Stan Lane from Bobby Eaton. Oh, and the knees come up from Tommy Rogers. The old rocket launcher, as they show the crowd, there's got to be 20,000 people there. I'm a little off my rocker here today, can you tell? And there's Cornette once again, high above the ring in the straitjacket in the cage. And I'm going to clip this, Corny, and I'm going to send it to you and Brian last. Here's the tag. Finally, Bobby Fulton. Down goes Bobby Eaton. Picks him up, far side, off the ropes. Big back body drop. Over goes beautiful Bobby. One of the best bumpers in the business. One of the easiest workers in the history of the business. A little confusion there between the Fantastics. Roll up, small package. Sweet Stan comes in to break it up. Eaton, Fulton, Sweet Stan with the interference. Big knee to the lower back, the third vertebrae of the lower lumbar region. By Eaton on Bobby Fulton. And then Sweet Stan Lane slams him on the outside. There's no match. That's all concrete. Ref bump. Tommy Rogers with the crossbody. And down goes Tommy Young. Down goes Tommy Young. And then he throws Bobby Eaton over the turnbuckle into the ring post. The Midnight Express is in big trouble. Fulton trying to take on both the Midnight Express. Tommy Young is persona non grata. What does Bobby Eaton have? Bobby Eaton has some sort of tape. Some sort of wrist tape is wrapping around his wrist. What could it be? A foreign object. Here comes Fulton. Bang! A right to the proboscis, to the jib. Down goes Fulton. Eaton puts away the foreign object. Here's the cover. There's Tommy Young. Hooks the leg. 3. It's over. The Midnight Express win. Win if you can. Lose if you must. But always cheat. And that's what the Express just did. Let's go to ringside, man. Wow. Listen to the crowd. Your new United States Tag Team Champions, Sweet Stan and Beautiful Bobby, along with Jim Cornette, the Midnight Express. Cornette's still in the cage in his straitjacket. And Bobby Fulton has grabbed a foreign object. It looks like it was a small dog collar, a chained dog collar. And that's what he looked like he used. Fulton now going after Bobby Eaton. Cornette's being lowered from the cage. Cornette is out, but he's still got the straitjacket on. They're fighting in the crowd. The Fantastics are going after Jim Cornette. They've got him. Fulton's got Cornette, throws him into the ring. Now it's Fulton and Rogers with Jim Cornette in his straitjacket. Where the fuck is the Midnight Express? And they're whipping Jim Cornette in his straitjacket. Took Tommy Young's belt and they're whipping him like a yellow dog. The Midnight Express are back. They're having a tug of war with Cornette. They've got him out of the ring, but he's still in the fucking straitjacket. The bottom line is the Midnight Express win and they escape. And right now we're looking at the steel structure. We're looking at the steel cage being lowered. They're playing a little bit of music. I don't want any copyrights, even though this is my own personal footage that I take live in the moment back in the day. They're lowering the cage. It looks like a double or triple cage. Is this the cage of doom we're about to watch here on Flashback? Listen, we're only 25 minutes in. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know when we're going to go off the air. I don't know when the grid's going to go down. I don't know when the power's going to go out. None of us know. But be prepared. You never know what's going to happen here on Chaos Corner, on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel. That's why you got to come back. It's cliffhangers. It's on the edge of your seat. Like wrestling was meant to be. This is the fastest hour in pro wrestling. And it is the triple cage, one on top of the other. The cage of doom. The Tower of Doom. And here come the ladders. Got to be 40, 50 feet in the air. Now remember, this is Clash of the Champions. I forget which one. Bash at the Beach. Not Bash at the Beach. The Great American Bash. And the people, the crowd there, there's not an empty seat. There's got to be a good 20,000. I'll go to DuckDuckGo. Because I don't go Google it like the rest of you geeks. No offense, man. No offense. Use DuckDuckGo. It's a better, more private search engine. All right, here we go. Capetta's explaining the rules. And in the ring is easy on the eyes, the lovely Precious. Precious is the keeper of the keys for this Tower of Doom triple cage match. Probably first of its kind back then. Let's do some research. Let's do some history. That's why you come here, to learn facts and history. So when you leave, you're better off than when you came in. And you can add to the conversation at the barbecue or the venue or at work or with your family or just hanging out online. All you keyboard warriors. And I hear music. So my mind's like a lazy Susan. It will come back around to see what's going on here. This is the Triple Cage Tower of Doom. Precious is the gatekeeper here. And coming down the aisle, it looks like Al Perez with the legendary Gary Hart, number one Paul Jones, Kevin Sullivan, Mike Rotunda, Ivan Koloff, and the big Russian Nightmare with the mask on. I'm not sure who that is. So we have the Varsity Club with Sullivan and Rotunda. We have Ivan Koloff with the big Russian Nightmare and number one Paul Jones because the Russian is huge and he's got that mask on. I'm not sure who that is. What a team we have right there. And of course, with number one Paul Jones and the man from the dark side, the maniacal Kevin Sullivan outside, anything could happen. Paul Jones was an underrated grappler and an underrated manager. I know he was a suck ass and a kiss ass in the front office. I get it, man. I know the rumors. I've heard the stories. But you can't take away what he accomplished. So this is going to be one man like every 5 minutes until all 10 get in the ring. And then I guess the Tower of Doom, the cage match, will start. And here comes the other team. And I see Jimmy Jam Garvin. I see Manos Di Pietro Ronnie Garvin. I see Dr. Death Steve Williams. And I see, what a rush. Animal and Hawk, the Road Warriors. And there he is in all his flamboyance. Jimmy Jam Garvin. That tough son of a bitch, tough as nails, Ronnie Garvin. Dr. Death, Steve Williams, the Road Warriors, and their manager, Precious Paul Ellering. Wow. This is the Tower of Doom that I was talking about. The triple cage going up and up and up. Each cage gets smaller. And those are the teams. Al Perez, one of the toughest, most underrated grapplers as well in the history of professional wrestling. And he certainly tells it like it is. And there's Tommy Yang. And Jimmy Yang Wang Twang. Tommy Young climbing rung by rung by rung by rung by rung to the top of the ladder. We got Jim Ross in the booth along with the GOC. Jimmy Garvin consulting with Dr. Death, consulting with Precious Paul Ellering. There's Rotunda. There's Sullivan. There's Al Perez. Ivan Koloff. And the big masked Russian. So let's listen in if we can so I don't have to do all the commentary. Tommy Young is way up there on the second and third cage to open up the latch to get from cage to cage as we go up. And if I remember correctly, a lot of people shit on this in the day. If you look at the visual, you got the bottom big cage in the ring, on top of it a smaller cage, on top of that yet still another smaller cage with the ladders that go all the way up and then the latches to get from cage to cage. It's 5-on-5, a 10-man Tower of Doom. The legendary Gary Hart said that allergies are still kicking my ass. Although, how about this weather and temperature? The rains, the tornadoes, the earthquakes. I hope everybody's safe. Really unbelievable. We went from 99, 100 degrees down to 75 degrees. Rain. The planet is literally splitting apart. So let's keep our eyes up. I'm here for that distraction. Not only for you, but for me. This is for me as well, so I appreciate you and know that I know, and that you know that I know that you're watching. There's 80% of you that are unsubscribed. What the fuck are you doing, man? You're missing out on the most unique channel on all of YouTube.
That's of all 5 men, the first team to make it from the top to the second level to the bottom.
What a monstrosity. After we just saw Jim Cornette locked in a shark cage and a straitjacket, and now to the triple Tower of Doom in all its monstrosity. Go to DuckDuckGo, research it, see what this was all about. I remember this in live, real time, taping this. This is my tape. Everybody's looking up. Pretty soon we're all going to be looking up. As my biblical innuendos go out. But you guys can handle that because you're supposed to. And if you're on this channel, you have no choice because it's the truth. And I present the truth. That's why I'm the man that tells it like it is. Long before a lot of other people used that monikers, I'm still looking up that cage. You see Ronnie Garvin, Jimmy, there's Hawk and Animal. Tommy Young all the way up on the third cage, it looks like. In the rafters, literally. Dr. Death, Animal, Hawk, the Garvin boys, Ellering, all looking up.
Looks like it's going to be Ronnie Garvin going up first for his team.
Looks like it is. It's the hands of stone, Ronnie Garvin. Rugged Ronnie Garvin, who's going to start off this Tower of Doom. And Ivan Koloff is going up first for the other team. Ivan Koloff, the Russian Bear. How the fuck is this guy not in a Hall of Fame? How is he not in the WWE Hall of Fame? Why isn't anybody petitioning for Ivan Koloff, who held the Worldwide Wrestling Federation title when he defeated Bruno in 1973? That's history right there. Should be in the Hall of Fame just because of that. Somebody explain it to me. That Ivan Koloff is not in the Hall of Fame. Let me get back to the match. And here we go all the way up top. Collar and elbow in a small, probably 5x5 cage. Koloff, Ronnie Garvin, as Koloff smashes his forehead into the top of that cage, and Garvin coming back, and the next two men for either team. It looks like on one side it's Dr. Death Steve Williams. On the other side, it's from Syracuse University, the varsity club, Mike Rotunda. That's right, Bray Wyatt's dad. Rest in peace, Bray. So as I'm looking right now, they're on the third cage. Koloff and Garvin slugging it out like two literally caged animals. Tommy Young in the middle, holding on for dear life. And on either side, outside the cage, on the steel grid platform, the cage, the wiring, right off that ladder that's 50 feet high, is Rotunda and Dr. Death. And then they'll come in next and they fight their way down to each cage until you get to the bottom of the cage, the third fucking cage. I don't know how many of you guys have seen this or haven't seen this, but this is history. Definitely Dusty Rhodes booking if you're asking me. Let's listen a little bit in on the commentary, but the visual is unbelievable. If you have this tape, I don't think you definitely can't get it on a network. You can't watch it with me as a live to tape watch along, because this is off my VHS that I taped it real time back in '88. Shivani wasn't that bad back in the day, 35, 40 years ago, because nowadays, Tony, you're insufferable. And they talk about all these geeks and goons and neckbeards and mouth breathers with all the fandom, because you idiots call it tribalism. It's fandom. That's what it is. It was the same thing back then. But how they're going to try to tell JR to step down when you got Tony Schiavone, who doesn't know his ass from his elbow, and he's still doing it, brings nothing to the table. He's a legend. Let him do some in-ring interviews. No disrespect, Tony. I loved you one time, man. I know I'm getting a little crazy here. Too loud? Too early? Fuck it. The cage has opened. Tommy Young has opened up the cage, and he's doing it via the crank. And in comes Mike Rotunda wearing the Syracuse singlet and Dr. Death Steve Williams. Now there's four men in this little 5x5 cage. Koloff, Garvin, Dr. Death, Rotunda. It looks like they're fighting in a phone booth. Steve Williams taking over, going to town. Ronnie Garvin looks like he's going to lower himself into that second cage. Ronnie Garvin's trying to get out of that top cage, that small top cage, that phone booth, if you will, and he's going to climb his way down. Ronnie Garvin, he's got it. He's into the second cage. Well, the other three men are above in that first cage, and on the outside for the other team, we'll call it Team Road Warriors, animals getting ready to step into the ring. Hawk is coming up the ladder. The visual is unbelievable. On the other side, Al Perez is coming up the ladder. You see the three cages, Garvin in the second middle cage by himself. Rotunda, Koloff, Williams in the top cage with Al Perez and Animal both about to enter the fucking cage. And then I see Hawk coming up the ladder. I don't know who's coming up for the other side. Team Gary Hart, we'll call it, I guess. And Team Paul Ellering. I mean, what else should we call it? Team Road Warriors? Koloff is bouncing around like a ping pong ball in that cage. And then they show the beautiful, precious Jimmy Jam's wife down at the bottom of the cage. The gatekeeper, if you will. I've been the gatekeeper before. Many times for many different events. Some serious, some not so serious. Let that marinate. Stay with me here. I'm going to try to pump out a couple of episodes today, leading into the weekend, and I hope you enjoy this. And I see some of you lurking. Some of you say things, some of you don't say things. Sometimes I got 3 people in a live chat. Sometimes there's 5, sometimes there's 25. Because these are premieres. Live to tape, you get the concept. So, I mean, I always see Austin Nance in there, the OTS Tribal Queen. Those are my regulars. I see the Mid-Mo Smark in there. I see Big O, Otis Gaming in there. Once in a while, even Jesse the Chi-Town Smark. I've seen Lil Montana. I've seen Kratos. I've seen Hoodie Rob Bebe, a.k.a. Funny Rob Bebe, a.k.a. the Bebe Resort. I've even seen Future in there. And my old brother, Hologram. Some of you I haven't seen in there, though. Leave a comment. Be seen. Because I see you anyway. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
We see that inside, as you see Doc and Ivan Koloff fighting on the second tier.
In the second tier, as you just heard Shivani say, it's Dr. Death and Ivan Koloff in the second tier. Up top, in the small cage, it's Animal, it's Hawk, it's Rotunda, who's still up there. Ronnie Garvin, I believe, is in the bottom level with Precious. And there's Kevin Sullivan as one of the last man to climb up that long ladder to the top of the phone booth type cage. That top cage is jamming. How is it sticking together? With all the beef and just with the Road Warriors in there. And if I just heard Jim Ross say Ronnie Garvin is the first man out of the cage and has gotten out altogether. He went down to the main floor and was let out by the gatekeeper Precious. I missed that part because we're going bananas here. There's so much action. Dr. Death, Steve Williams, laying him in on his second cage, the middle level. This is insanity. Listen to the crowd, if you can hear it. Holy but Jesus. And that top cage is ready to fall over like the leaning tower of Piazza. Kevin Sullivan still on the rungs of the ladder. Hasn't gotten in yet. And neither has Jimmy Jam Garvin. Road Warrior Hawk still on the outside waiting to get in, as is the big Russian. I don't know who he is with the mask. I can't believe this is slipping me. There's the bell. There's the horn. Now everybody's up in that top cage. Jimmy Jam Garvin's the last man on the ladder. On the left side of your screen. On the right side, it's Kevin Sullivan. In the middle level, it's Ivan Koloff, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Al Perez, Road Warrior Animal. They all just dropped down to the mid-level, the middle cage. Up top, it's still Mike Rotunda and the huge masked Russian. Rotunda's getting the tar beat out of him. How is that middle cage staying apart? How is it not collapsed? Williams going heads up with Ivan Koloff right now. Al Perez and Road Warrior Animal. All in that middle rung, going to town, using the cage as a weapon, rights, lefts. This isn't scientific. This is a fucking brawl in a phone booth, survival on a rugby field. And can I explain it anymore? Being in a cell fight with your... Let me not get crazy. It's revealed too much. Animal's grabbing the middle of the cage. And he got leg scissors on Al Perez. Dr. Death just laying in an Oklahoma mud boot, Mississippi mud boot. You like how I did that there? To the Russian bear. Choking him out against the cage. Vicious. The big Russian just hammering away. Rotunda still in that top cage. Again, it's got to be literally a little bit bigger than a phone booth. And they're both right now, Rotunda and the Russian Nightmare, we'll call him, are hammering on Hawk. Hawk taking the beating of a lifetime, 2-on-1 in close quarters. You got to be ready for that. Rock and roll, dip and roll, move your feet, head bob and weave and covering up, striking, elbows, fists, the fingers, everything, knees. It's survival. As they give the faraway view, this is unbelievable. Hawk has dropped down to the middle cage. It's Hawk, Animal, Ivan Koloff, Dr. Death, Al Perez, all in that middle cage, the middle rung. Ronnie Garvin's already out and been let out. Now down the bottom level, it's Al Perez, Road Warrior Animal. The big Russian Nightmare has made it to the middle of the cage. Things are happening fast and furious. Animal down on the bottom. Going to town. Big clothesline by Animal. Middle cage, it's Perez. No, it's Dr. Death and the Russian Nightmare. Ivan Koloff and Hawk picks him up, slams him on that cage. Whoa, what a rush. Big body slam by Hawk, taking over. What an unbelievable power grappler the Hawk was. Down in the bottom, it looks like some of the grapplers have been left out. Precious has let him out. The gatekeeper. Up top, it's still Rotunda. Man, this is unbelievable. Rotunda's still up in that top phone booth, I'll call it. It's Kevin Sullivan, Jimmy Jam Garvin, and Mike Rotunda still up with Tommy Young on that very top third cage. Literally this big. A phone booth, as I said. I know I keep repeating. Then the middle cage is a little bit bigger. And in that middle cage, it's Dr. Death. It's the Russian Nightmare, the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, taking over on Dr. Death right now. Al Perez has been let out by Precious. Ronnie Garvin has been let out by Precious. They've made it down to that third ring, and the gatekeeper has let him out. The big Russian Nightmare fighting it out with Hawk on the middle level. Here comes Rotunda. He's trying to get down that trap door. He's finally getting out of the first cage. And Rotunda is down in the second cage. We have 5 men in that mid-level, that second cage right now. 5. With Jimmy Jam and Kevin Sullivan still in that top cage. And then we see Road Warrior Animal. Animal has been let out of the bottom cage. So Animal, Al Perez, Ronnie Garvin have all been let out of that final cage on the bottom level. I just see Ivan Koloff and the monster Russian with the mask just dropped down to the final level. Rotunda, Dr. Death, Road Warrior Hawk in that mid-level. Hawk comes down to the third level. Now it's the Russians against the Hawk on the third level. Remember, whoever gets out first as a team is the winner of this Cage of Terror, Cage of Doom, Triple Doom. I don't know. Double clothesline, missed. Hawk, clothesline on Ivan Koloff, clothesline on the masked Russian. Exhausted, obviously, on his heels, on Queer Street, the stamina, the wind. Jimmy Jam and Sullivan are still all the way up the top. Tommy Young holding on for dear life. Hawk is kicking ass and taking names on that bottom level. Remember, we still have a handful in the middle level. Now the Russians are taking over on Hawk, choking him out. And that Russian Nightmare with the mask has got to be every bit of about 6'5", maybe 300 pounds, 310 pounds. He's lean. In the middle, Rotunda and Dr. Death squaring off. Now we have technical spots. That's what ended up being the varsity club. University of Oklahoma, University of Syracuse. Down goes Rotunda. Dr. Death laying in the rights. I see Ivan Koloff stepping out of the ring. I see the giant Russian stepping out of the bottom ring. They're out. They've been let out. The gatekeeper has let them out. Steve Williams through the trap door going down to the third level. He's down. Williams is down. Rotunda's still in the middle. All the way up top, it's still Jimmy Jam and Sullivan fighting for the love of Precious, the loyalty. You know the storyline. Koloff is out. The giant Russian is out. Perez is out. They're all talking to Mr. Number 1, Paul Jones. Garvin is going down to the second level. Now it's Jimmy Jam and Syracuse own Mike Rotunda. Kevin Sullivan's down in the middle rung now too. It's 2-on-1 in that middle cage. Remember the storyline here, how Sullivan tried to mesmerize and kidnap and voodoo witchcraft and whatever the garbage bullshit you want to call it. The dark side tried to get over on Precious and take Jimmy Jam's wife. That's what this match is based and surrounded by. That's why Precious is the gatekeeper. Because I believe whoever wins here is going to try to somehow gain the power. Either Jimmy Jam wins his wife back or Sullivan takes her off to the dark side. That's the backstory here. There is a story to this match. Rotunda, Sullivan, Jimmy Jam still in that middle rung, that middle cage. Everybody else has made it to the third level, the bottom ring, the bottom cage, and they have all left. Persona non grata. Whoever gets out first. So there's 3 left out of the 10. And if I got them correctly, Ronnie Garvin, Animal, Hawk, Al Perez. I already said Ronnie Garvin. Ivan Koloff, the giant Russian. I don't think I've missed anybody that has left the ring, that has gotten out by the gatekeeper. And the reason why I'm so over the top here with this and giving you my commentary as opposed to just, this is more like a review, I guess, is because the volume, I can't really control. I don't want to go too loud. Rotunda has made it down to the bottom cage. Rotunda's by himself. He can make his way out, but he's not doing it. Now it's Sullivan and Jimmy Jam in the middle component, the middle cage. Wow.
It's the cage to the last two men in.
Here's Gary Hart.
And the cage door shuts.
He's trying to open up the door for Rotunda. Precious is trying to unlock the door to get Rotunda out of there, so it's a one-on-one situation. But it doesn't look that way. Dr. Death is waiting outside for Rotunda. Rotunda has gotten out. Courtesy of Gary Hart. Gary Hart's right there, the legendary manager, Gary Hart. And now there's a big brawl on Donnybrook. A Pier 6, it's a slobber knocker. It's chaos! The Road Warriors, Koloff, Dr. Death, the Giant Russian, Ronnie Garvin, they're going to town outside. Al Perez, still in that middle cage. It's Jimmy Jam Garvin and Kevin Sullivan. Our prayers and well wishes and thoughts go out to Kevin Sullivan, who's currently battling some health issues. Prayers and thoughts to Kevin Sullivan, fans, if you will. A true legend. A bad man in this business and industry. Back to the action.
What's going to the mind of Precious right now? The lady has been the center of attention of these two men for months upon months in the NWA. Watching, looking above her, watching both these men slugging down. Look at her. She's drained in tears. She's letting
As they got the cameras on Precious. As you heard in the background, the backstory here. This wasn't just a match, a Hell in a Cell, to just to have for no reasons. It furthered a storyline. It preceded a storyline. You heard it. Ring psychology, emotional investment, storytelling. That's what I say all the time. As they show all three apparatuses, all three steel cages. Sullivan's opened up the trap door. He's trying to get down to the bottom ring. And he has. He's made it to the bottom cage. Jimmy Jam's right after him. Here we go. Precious is waiting in that cage as well. It's Garvin and Sullivan down to the bottom ring, the bottom cage, and Sullivan's got his hands on Precious. Sullivan's got his hands on Precious. She gives him a mule kick. Jimmy Jam's over there to save his wife. Head first into the turnbuckle. Jimmy Jam to the rescue. Be careful, Precious. Be careful, man. He's a despicable son of a bitch, Kevin Sullivan here. Big leg drop by Jimmy Jam. Fans, you don't get action like this anywhere else. The emotion, the reaction, the passion, the energy, and it's real. I hope you feel it here. The Chaos Squad. Big DDT by Jimmy Jam. Suplex DDT on Sullivan. Sullivan is out. Precious has the keys. Precious is getting over to the door. Wearing her black black leather pants, black negligee, looking like a blonde Stevie Nicks. Oh, Stevie Nicks is blonde, isn't she? Trying to unlock it. Jimmy Jam. Precious, the door's been unlocked. But no, Sullivan out of nowhere. He pushes Jam out of the car, out of the cage. He locks him out. Jimmy Jam is out of the cage. And now the doors have been locked. The cage has been locked. And Sullivan has Precious in the cage in the bottom ring. What the fuck are they going to do now? Sullivan, you're a sick bastard. He's crawling to Precious like he's a snake, a lizard, a serpent. Precious has gone up to the second rope in this bottom cage. She's trying to kick at him with the high heels. She's fighting her own. She's fighting back. You never become a victim. You always fight back. She's pulling hair. She's kicking. She's yelling. She's bouncing. She's screaming. And they're going everywhere. It's like a bowl of jello. No offense, man. I'm just going by what I see. Precious is not going to take any guff off of Kevin Sullivan. Meanwhile, on the ring, they're climbing up the ladders. Hawk, Jimmy Garvin, the Road Warriors, they're all climbing up the ladders to the top cage to try to drop through the three hatch doors to get to the bottom. Tommy Young is still up there. Precious is a little revealing right there. Cover him up. Oh, a big kick to the chest of Kevin Sullivan. Sullivan's going to reach her. Meanwhile, they dropped out to the trap door. Through the second one. Here we go. Here comes Jimmy Garvin. Hawk. Wait, no. Sullivan has some sort of belt or choke tie or jewelry piece, and he's choking out Precious. What the fuck? Who's going to save her? What about the rest of you men on that team? Why aren't you in there? He's literally choking out Precious. Hawk has made it down to the bottom hatch. A clothesline out of nowhere. Down goes Sullivan. Hawk to the rescue. Hawk the savior. Who knew? Jimmy Jam is finally down there. He's tending to Precious. He's getting her out of the ring. He's getting her out of harm's way. Meanwhile, Hawk is kicking ass and taking names. Oh, what a rush. That's it. Garvin has gotten out. He's with Precious. Hawk is out. Sullivan is left laying. Your winners, Jimmy Jam Garvin with Precious, Ronnie Garvin, Animal, Hawk, Paul Ellering, Dr. Death. Holy shit, what a match.